My name is Arlen Thurber. I've been working with Datastax close to 8 years. In May, it'll be 8 years. We work on business applications that more than one department uses, and we also facilitate the integrations of applications that don't natively talk to each other. Our flagship product was Datastax Enterprise, which is a database built off of open source Apache Cassandra. Currently, we are now shifting gears into offering more of a service offering. So now we have a Datastax Astra is a serverless database based upon Apache Cassandra, but it's one of the first that is multi-cloud and serverless. We're a Workday shop, right? So we had a lot of integrations, and Workday's great at doing a lot of native integrations, but there are quite a few different third-party applications that don't integrate natively with Workday. And sometimes you have to massage the data before you can give it to them, or you have to set up something that's not an SFTP connection. And Workday is kind of they're not as flexible. We would build the integrations with other third-party applications as needed, because Workday provides that source of truth. I think that a lot of stuff was becoming, ad hoc. We were spinning up a server, writing up some Python or Bash scripts, and just manually plugging one API into another. And that can be cumbersome and quite burdensome to maintain and keep secure and keep up to date. And when you write the platform, you are the support for the platform as well. So you don't end up having anybody to call and ask questions to and things like that. Initially, my impression was I felt like I was trapped in a very rigid framework that I didn't have a lot of customability to influence. But then as I started working with the platform, I realized that like the plugins and the connections and the everything that was there, I could do all the complicated stuff I needed to do with code. It was just a little bit different way of addressing the problem. One of the first things I did with Workato was replace an existing integration that was like built on Python and a couple of different, like probably several different Python scripts and a couple of different servers. And basically all it did was take deals from Salesforce and then push them into Zendesk to provision users and provision accounts. And this process was very brittle because there was a lot of dependencies on SKU numbers and things like that were changing over time. And the developers who had created the initial process were no longer maintaining it. And so Workato looked like, okay, this is an interesting use case, but it followed a logical path. And we could build out the logic blocks of if this, then that, and we make decisions based upon the deals details. And so we created an integration that bridged that gap between Salesforce and Zendesk. Another area was in our recruitment space. We use a product called Smart Recruiters. They were missing some features that we really wanted to be able to support, namely automating the sending of communications for recruit candidates at specific stages during the process. Using a few of the tools at Workato, like lookup tables and a couple of other little things, we were able to build a history of where candidates were in the process. And then I would keep a history step for every stage that a candidate would go through. And if they reached a stage that I hadn't seen them in yet before, I could send them a contextualized message that's personalized for them. In the year of 2021, I just did the numbers for this. We sent out something like 6,500 emails for that team, automated. Nobody ever had to hit send. And now we're doing a data-driven onboarding initiative where, based upon your cost center, your role, either employee or coach, and the number of weeks it's been since your hire, they're sending out different forms to collect feedback from the employee and the coach. And so that was another process that was taking a good 20 hours a week, because it's just a lot of figuring out the right combination of URLs to send, copying and pasting, making sure it's going to the right people. And we reduced that 20 hours a week to 90 seconds. And that was definitely one of the bigger wins. Honestly, I don't think we would have attempted to solve some of these problems if we didn't have Workato as a platform. I've done lots of integrations before where you did have to manage your own server, you did have to write your own code and then maintain it, and then something would change on the third-party API, or something would change and this and that, it would break everything and you'd have to go back and fix it. That those things just don't exist with Workato.